25 member organizations founded in 1994 in order to create a more just and humane state. I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to speak on the need for a clean power plan and public engagement in our state's process. I also want to thank all the speakers in Las Vegas for their great testimony. From Anissa, the first young speaker, all the way through the last one. I think it really shows that Nevada is on board with this process, and I think that's a really good sign. I think it shows that it's a good example of how we want government to put our people and our planet first. We believe that we need to develop an ambitious public process that motivates vigorous public engagement in helping develop and implement Nevada's Clean Power Plan. That means holding multiple public hearings during non-working hours and holding hearings in places where communities most impacted by the climate crisis, which are low income and communities of color, can engage in this process. And we all remain willing and able to help secure those locations. Our state must not only develop a clean power plan that results in carbon reductions, but one that moves our state towards achieving racial and economic justice. We need to ensure that our state paves the way for a sincere investment in communities of color, working class, and low-income communities. Climate change and toxic carbon emission affect us all, but they've not affected us all equally. 68% of African Americans in particular live within 30 miles of a coal plant. 80% of Latinos live in areas that are failing to meet federal EPA quality standards. 1 in 6 African American kids and 1 in 9 Latino kids suffers from asthma. African American kids are 4 times as likely to die from asthma attacks than white children. Lower income people are at greater risk from air pollution because they live closer to the sources of pollution and are more likely to have diseases that put them at high risk. We can't wait for the benefits of clean air to trickle down. And we sure as heck can't leave it up to the market to decide whose neighborhood and which communities get served or cleaned up first. We want Nevada's Clean Power Plan to require our state to lay a foundation towards 100% efficiency and real clean energy that communities control and benefit from. We want to shut down that dirty Valmy coal-fired plant by the year 2021, which is our state's largest carbon polluter at 2.6 million metric tons per year. We also reject the notion that NV Energy should be in charge of our energy future, and we favor publicly owned power systems, similar to my grandfather's Rural Electrification Association and other cooperatives that flourished throughout America before giant energy corporations and their mercenary army of lobbyists drove them out. Pollution isn't free for our communities. It has costs in medical bills, in climate change, and in lives lost. It shouldn't be free for the polluters either. Nevada should impose a carbon tax. We should demand that a big chunk of those revenues be be invested in targeted job creation for low income and communities of color. The economists in this state who are not on the payroll of the big energy companies know that a carbon tax is simple, uniform, and effective. It's the politics of it that face resistance. Programs like the Clean Energy Incentive Program are absolutely critical, and it's imperative that this be implemented in Nevada. After decades of underinvestment and pollution, communities of color need deep investment to begin to recover. The Clean Energy Incentive Program is a positive step towards making sure that the carbon market set up by the Clean Power Plan doesn't mirror mistakes of the past. Low income and communities of color bear the burden of the dirty energy economy we have now. Their jobs expose them to more health hazards and toxins, and their communities are the last to be cleaned up and the last to have access to clean and renewable energy. That's why Nevada must implement the Clean Energy Incentive Program and set aside for renewable energy that serves low-income communities. Early investments in renewable energy and energy efficiency for our communities should be maximized. This, it's in Northeast Reno. I was talking to some folks last night, and their apartments and homes over there, their energy bills are going out the roof. So helping invest in weatherization, creating jobs in those communities is just a net positive gain for everybody. In conclusion, we need more than just windmills and solar panels in our Clean Power Plan. We need to embrace real energy democracy that results in a just transition toward thriving communities. Thank you.